Hey guys, so hope you're ready for a really big haul video this week. I'm doing something a little bit different. Instead of just unboxing everything and then doing some mini reviews at the end like I normally do, I'm going to unbox some stuff and then try it all on like each day. So this way I get to try a lot more things and let you know how they work out. You can see them in action. I'm going to be doing like a 4-day wear test of the new Patrick Ta foundation, which I think will be really helpful. I'm going to be trying it a bunch of different ways, and hopefully it'll just be way more helpful than a typical haul video. So if that sounds good, grab a snack, get comfortable. It's probably going to be a really long video. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. Hey guys, it's Wednesday. So I normally start these videos on Monday, but I've been sick since the weekend. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm just like finally starting to feel a little bit better. And I still am not perfect, but I finally feel like I can sort of, do something. And I'm so bored just sitting around. So I figured I'd do some unboxings and just do a haul video this week. So I did get the Little Mermaid collection from Sigma over the weekend. And also on Monday, I did some retail therapy. Thank goodness for same-day delivery from Sephora, because there were a whole bunch of things that I wanted to try. And I don't know, just cheered me up a little bit. So I figured we could just open these up really quick and I'll show you what I got. So this obviously is PR. And I thought this was supposed to come out on September 24th. But it looks like it's already available on their website. So this is already, like, you can buy this now. And there's a palette. There are 3 lip oils. There's also a blush and a highlighter, which looks so cute. Look at the shell packaging. I love this. And then there's also a brush set. So there are 3 brushes, 2 eyes, 1 face, and then a pouch that they come in. So let's go ahead and open this up. We'll just swatch everything really quickly. I also want to try this on today. Like I said, I'm just feeling better and I want to put some makeup on. So for this haul video, I think I'm going to show you guys some unboxings and then maybe try things on the same day instead of waiting till the end of the video. And that way it'll break up the unboxings a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's in here really quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the palette. So this has 14 shades. It's $59. I also do have a coupon code with Sigma. It's JenPhelps, so it'll save you 10% as well. And this says that it has some duochrome and multi-chrome shifts in it. So I'm really excited about that. I love shifty shadows. It's hard to tell from just looking at it in the pan, but I saw some promo photos of the swatches of this and they looked so beautiful. So I figured maybe we could do a couple of quick live swatches and then I'll show you the entire palette. And I'm not the biggest fan of Sigma's shadow formula. Like, it's fine, but I always feel like the shadows are a little bit like hard pressed into the pan. They're not as creamy as I would like. But I have to say right off the bat, these, like, not this white one, but this blue one feels so creamy. It actually feels amazing. It's different than what we usually see from Sigma. So I wonder if they've changed their formula. I just want to show you what this looks like. Oh, look at that. That definitely has a little bit of a shift to it. And then this white one is more like a topper. So this feels a little bit drier, kind of like what Sigma's formula has been like before. But so far, I really like that blue one. Let me just do a couple more. I want to see this purple shade. This one also feels really creamy. And actually, look at that. It's purple, but it shifts to green. I didn't see that in the pan initially. It just looks like a purple shadow, but that is so cool. Let me see, what else do I want to try? Maybe this red. Ooh, this one feels really creamy too. All right, so here's a purple shade. Wow, that actually came out so much more green than I was expecting. Sorry, my voice is totally cutting out. And then here's the red one, which honestly, like, it looks bronze right now. And it has some gold. That is really beautiful. So these shades are definitely more surprising. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just swatch the whole palette and we'll see what it looks like. All right, guys, so here's the palette all swatched out. I have to say this formula is absolutely beautiful. It definitely feels a little different than what I'm used to from Sigma. These first 2 shimmer shades right here, which are the lightest 2 in the palette in the very front, feel a little bit more like Sigma's regular shimmer shade formula, which is a little bit harder pressed. It's a little harder to pick up. They're more sheer, almost like toppers. The rest of the shimmers are absolutely gorgeous, so creamy. They have what a lot of people describe as like that buttery feel. I mean, they're just beautiful, so pigmented and rich. And also the matte shades too are just a little bit more velvety and creamy than I'm used to seeing from Sigma. Not only that, but some of these shades just totally surprise you coming out of the pan. Like this one looks purple in the palette, but it actually comes out green with a purple shift. This one over here looks like a bright turquoise in the palette, but it actually has some brown behind it. This bronzy shade looked red in the palette, but now it looks like kind of a bronze that shifts to yellow gold. It almost maybe even has green in it as well. So there are definitely some surprises, and swatched out, it doesn't actually look quite as bright as it did in the pan. So I'm loving this. I think it's so beautiful. Can't wait to play with it. Next, let's check out the blush and highlighter. So the packaging is super adorable. I love these like iridescent shell compacts. So first we have the blush, and this one is called True Love. It's just such a pretty pink. I think it's gonna go with the cool shades in the palette, but it'll also go with the warm tones because it's not a super cool tone pink, but it's also not extremely warm. It's a little bit more neutral. I'm just gonna swatch it right here. So yeah, look how pretty that is. And then the highlighter is called Seashell. And these compacts are just a little bit tricky to open. I think you have to kind of stick your nail under it, unfortunately. So they're cute, but not super easy to work with. This is the highlighter. Again, it looks beautiful. It has that little bit of a lavender shift to it. Just gonna put it here next to the blush. And that's what that looks like. It doesn't seem like a super shimmery highlighter. It looks a little bit more on the subtle side. And then we also have 3 lip oils. So there's one that's really shimmery. This one looks more like a cream. And then this one has a little bit of sparkle, but it kind of has like those tiny little micro glitters. So this first one is the cream nude shade, and this one's called Dingle Hopper. So that's a really pretty color, super pigmented for a lip oil as well. Then we have the pink lip oil with the micro glitter in it. This one is called Coral, a bit more sheer than the first one. I'm actually just looking at the card that they sent me now, and these 2 shimmery ones are actually the lip oils. This is a lip cream, so that's why it's a little bit more pigmented. And then this one's called Sunset. It looks pink, but it almost looks like it has a little bit of a shift to gold in it as well. Kind of like a sunset, really pretty. So this has a little bit more shimmer in it than the coral shade did. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera and it picks it up. And also these don't have a noticeable scent at all. So last but not least are the brushes. We have a face brush for the blush, which I think is so soft and oh my gosh, so fluffy. And then here we have 2 eye brushes. This one is really small. It's like a flat brush for packing shadow onto the lid. And then we also have a pencil brush here for lining the eyes as well. And it comes with this bag. So I'll just show you the inside because it's so cute. Look at that. Just has all the little mermaid scenes in there. So anyway, guys, that's a Little Mermaid collection. Like I said, I definitely want to try this on today, so we're going to do that. All right, next I just want to show you what I got at Sephora. So first I got a hair and body mist from Love Shack Fancy. So this is called Sugar Blush, and I'm just going to borrow my son's iPad really quick because I forgot what the notes are supposed to be in this, and I just want to read them to you really quickly. So it says that this is a fruity floral body mist that smells like dessert. So of course, right up my alley. This delicious scent gets its sweetness from a pink vanilla sugar note spun with creamy rose, tart passion fruit, violet, and sandalwood. The bottle looks absolutely gorgeous, and this is, like I said, it's a body mist, but you can also use this in your hair as well. So I just want to quickly spritz some on. We'll see what this smells like. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this smells identical to Skylar's Boardwalk Delight. I don't smell any difference between them whatsoever, but yet the notes are different. This is supposed to have the vanilla sugar with rose, passion fruit, violet, and sandalwood, but Boardwalk Delight is supposed to be pure vanilla, cotton candy, and coconut milk. So it's totally different. As far as the notes go, I mean, they have vanilla in common, but like to my nose, there is absolutely no difference between them. And now I'm kind of wondering if I should take this back because I love the smell of it, don't get me wrong, but I have Boardwalk Delight, I have the body mist, I have the perfume. I don't know. I mean, maybe I should just try wearing this around for a while. Maybe it kind of changes as you wear it, but at least for right now, it smells exactly like Boardwalk Delight. The next thing I got is the new Patrick Ta foundation. So this is the Major Skin Hydrolux Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. Very expensive for this, by the way. I was almost not going to buy it, but I don't know. I've seen some good reviews on it. So I got the shade 6 Neutral. I'm hoping that this is okay. And I do want to try this out this week, and I'm hoping that I can maybe try it multiple days in this video. I think that might be really helpful for all of you. So first of all, the bottle is gorgeous. I mean, it's a glass bottle. It feels and looks very expensive, although I already got fingerprints on the cap, like literally just pulling it out of the box and it's already messed up. So anyway, let's go ahead and we'll just see what the color looks like really quick, but I want to wear this maybe when I try the Little Mermaid stuff, I can wear this as my foundation. So here's the color. So far, I mean, it does look a little bit yellow for me, but not terrible. And this formula feels super hydrating. It almost feels like an oil, actually. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, on dry skin, it's probably going to be really nice, but it feels so oily. I kind of wonder how long lasting it's going to be on my skin as well. So I guess we're definitely going to have to test this out. And I think a multi-day wear test is warranted for something this expensive, right? Because you don't want to spend your money on it if it's not going to work. Another thing that I got is this new leave-in conditioner from Olaplex. This is called Moisturize and Mend Leave-In Conditioner. So this is something that you're supposed to put in when your hair is damp, and then you just leave it on and either dry your hair or let it air dry. And like all of Olaplex's products, it's supposed to help repair damage. So that sounds like it's going to be pretty good. All right, what else did I get? Oh, we have the new Cali Ray blurring blushes. So I got 2 different shades. Epic, which looks like a cool tone pink, and then Dope, which is more of like a warmer nude. Blurring blushes are just so popular right now. And I actually did a video recently where I mentioned you can mix in like a blurring primer with any liquid blush and turn it into a blurring formula. So that's just a little tip if you don't want to buy one that's already blurring. But I'm just always so curious to try the new formulas. I want to see what they're all about. So let's go ahead and just do some quick swatches with these. So again, this is the shade Epic. I've heard good things about these from you guys as well. That is a super bright candy pink, but I love it. And then we have the shade Dope. This is also super pretty. Maybe tomorrow I'll try these out on my cheeks, but I mean, they feel really nice, super silky, very, very easy to blend. And they do seem to have that blurring quality to them. So stay tuned. I'll definitely try these out this week as well. I also got a couple things from the brand Kulfi, and I've heard great things about this line in general. So I got one of their glossy lip stains. This is called Lassie Lips Staining Lip Oil. And then I also got 2 of their cream eyeshadows. So this one's in the shade First Sorry. It looked like it was going to be so pretty online. I really hope it's not too dark. I was trying to pick a shade that wasn't super bold, but I don't know. Judging by the cap, it looks like it might be. I'm just going to put it right here. Ooh, actually, it's not. It's a little bit more of a lip oil, like they said, so it has that sheerness to it. This is beautiful. I love this color. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, don't let the packaging scare you if you don't like darker colors. This is like the perfect Your Lips But Better kind of shade, and it seems like it's really moisturizing too. So if this actually leaves a stain behind, that's going to be amazing. Next, let's take a look at their cream shadows. So I got Sitara Sparkles and Plum Pataka. I don't know if I'm saying these names right, but so this is Sitara Sparkles. It looks like kind of a rose gold type of shade. And wow, look how pretty that is. And really pigmented in just one swipe. Seems like it's going to be very easy to use. And then the plum one, I was really excited about this one because it looks so gorgeous. Look at this color. It's like the perfect dusty plum. Oh my gosh, I love that. But I have to say the plum one doesn't seem to be quite as metallic as the rose gold one. I mean, it still has a sheen to it, just not maybe quite as much. Either way, these look beautiful. So I can't wait to play with these as well. All right, and then the last thing that I got is an eyeshadow palette from Give. This is new and it's the I See in Color multi-dimensional eyeshadow palette in the shade Simple Kind of Life, one of my favorite songs from them. So these looked interesting. This one was the more neutral of the two, and then the other one had a little bit more warm tones. And it's actually a little bit smaller than I thought it was gonna be from the pictures online. It's just like a palm-sized palette, which in some ways could be really good, I guess, if you want to travel with it and stuff like that. And then inside you have 6 shades, and I wonder if you could even use these bigger ones on your face, like for bronzer or contour. That might work as well, but I think she just gives you a little bit extra because these are going to be your crease colors and the ones that you use the most of. And I also kind of like how this is set up. Cooler tones over here and then warmer tones over there. You can mix them, obviously, or if you just want to use one row, then you could create either a warm tone look or a cool tone look. So I'm really curious to see what this formula is like. Figured we could just quickly swatch it. I'm just going to do the 2 bigger shades first. All right, so this first shade is really light. I mean, it actually looks darker in the pan. I thought it was going to be almost like a cooler tone bronzy option, but I have to say the formula feels really nice. Like, look at how pigmented that was in one swipe. That was actually amazing. Let me just grab the 2 shimmer shades. These also feel really nice and creamy. All right, then next we have the cool toned shimmer shade. Wow, these are really pigmented. I haven't tried any of Give's eyeshadows before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but these look really good so far. All right, and I'm just gonna do the black shade and the deeper brown. So here's the brown down here. I mean, these, they do have some fallout. They're a little powdery, but also just look at the pigment though. I mean, they're definitely legit as far as shadows go. And they feel so soft, like they feel very blendable. Like if I just go like this, like look at how much this just blends right out with my finger on my skin. They're very, very blendy. So anyway, guys, that's that palette, and that's my Sephora haul, my retail therapy from when I was sick. So like I said, I'm gonna do the Little Mermaid today. I'm gonna try that on. So you know, I'll use the Patrick Ta foundation, but the rest of this I'm probably just gonna have to try on a different day. Hopefully I'll get to it this week. So anyway, guys, let's go upstairs and do a quick try on. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Sigma Little Mermaid palette. And I'm gonna keep my look super simple. I really wanna use this turquoise shade called Swimming that shifts to the brown. And I think maybe I'm gonna use this lighter brown Loverboy for my crease. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm gonna do too much more than that. So I'm just gonna pick up that Loverboy shade on the 202 brush from BK Beauty and just start working that back and forth in my crease. To tell you the truth, it feels so good to put makeup back on. It's been, oh my gosh, like what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, I haven't worn makeup since last Friday, and that was like when I was filming a video. And then Saturday I ended up getting sick and I haven't put on makeup since. I mean, it was honestly one of the worst colds I've ever had, and it wasn't the C word. I don't want to get demonetized by saying that, so I'm just going to say it wasn't that. I tested negative for that, for the flu. I mean, I was positive it was one of the two, but my husband is actually the one who started with this almost like 2 weeks ago now. Then my son got it. I was thinking I escaped, but unfortunately, you know, it's like once my son gets something, then I always end up catching it. It's easy enough to kind of stay away from my husband during the day, but when it's my son, I don't know, I just can't. But either way, I'm just so glad to be back on the mend, and you know, I miss putting on makeup, I miss making videos, so it's really nice to get back to a little bit of normal. By the way, if you guys start to hear any weird sounds, there's somebody right outside my window working. They're putting leaf filter on the gutters. Yeah, there you go. You could probably hear their drill. We had a clogged gutter, and I don't know, you probably heard about this because it made the national news, but Connecticut had like a ton of flooding, and we had so much rain. It was like towards the end of August. And because we have this clogged gutter, the rain like spilled over the gutter and it went down the side of the house and like behind the windows. So we had puddles on our floor. So we decided to put the leaf filter in the gutter so that way it's not going to happen again. They're not going to get clogged. It's supposed to be like a maintenance-free type of option, so we'll see. But getting back to the eyeshadow, this color is so beautiful, and I'm loving this new creamier formula from Sigma. I honestly hope that they keep it going. I'm really over the topper type shades. Not that I was really a huge fan of them to begin with, but it started to get old after literally every company was just putting that type of shadow in their palettes, and I missed these creamier, richer, more pigmented colors. By the way, I did not use glitter glue under this shadow. I usually do, but I wanted to see what it would look like without, and I think it actually still turned out beautiful, but with glitter glue under this, I think it would pop even that much more. All right, so I think that's all I'm gonna do with my eyeshadow. I'm just gonna quickly use the Judy Doll liner in the brown shade, and I'm just gonna slightly wing that out on the edge, but not too much. And then for lashes, I'm gonna apply the e.l.f. Lash Extender Tubing Mascara. I hope the lighting isn't off in this video today. You guys will have to let me know, but usually I have a combination of natural lighting because I'm sitting in front of a huge window, and then also just some studio lights to fill in. But today I closed the blinds on the window here because I knew these guys were going to be out there doing work, and I didn't really want them, like, you know, working on the gutter and looking in at me while I'm trying to film. So I'm just doing all artificial light today, and hopefully it's okay. All right, next let's try the Patrick Ta foundation. So my idea with this is that I'm just gonna apply it first the way that I would on any normal given day. So I'm gonna apply it with a damp sponge, and I'm gonna apply it on bare skin with no primer, because that's the way I would normally do it. And most days I can't be bothered with primer. So I'm just gonna do it this way, see how it looks. And then if I feel like maybe I need a primer underneath, like if it's showing my pores or whatever, then tomorrow I'll try it with a primer. Or if I feel like it needs more coverage, I'll use a brush tomorrow, and we'll just kind of adjust and see where it goes. So far, I think this color is pretty good, maybe just slightly yellow, but not too far off. And I can't get over how hydrating this formula feels. It is really, it's almost like bordering on sticky. Like I said before, when I pumped it out on my hand, it feels a little bit oily. And I want to say that's a good thing for dry skin, but I don't know. I feel like it could affect the longevity if it doesn't like dry down all the way. I don't know if it's gonna, geez, they're making a lot of noise out there. I don't know if it's gonna make it kind of slide all around on my face or not. But so far, I think it does look pretty good, and it's actually covering my nose. Like, it's sticking to my nose. A lot of foundations don't do that. And see, right away, that's one area that I thought I was gonna have a problem with because of how emollient this formula feels, but it seems like it's gonna be okay. So as far as the coverage, I feel like I could use maybe a little bit more on my cheeks because my dark spots are peeking through. I might want to try applying this with a brush tomorrow just to see what the difference is, but I think with a sponge I'm getting kind of like light to medium coverage, somewhere in between there. All right, let me just zoom you guys in. So yeah, looking in the mirror, I mean, it definitely has more of a radiant finish to it. I see a lot of glow, which, you know, might end up highlighting some texture and some pores. Depending on how this wears throughout the day, I might want to put maybe a pore smoothing primer under it just to sort of minimize that. I think right now it looks okay because it's freshly applied, but I can see it maybe like sinking into the pores during the day. So I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on it, and then tomorrow I'll adjust the way that I apply it if necessary. So next I'm just applying the blush from Sigma. This is in the shade True Love, which was that gorgeous pink. It's so pretty, and I feel like it's not too pigmented, and it's also not super sheer either. It's like the perfect in between, and it has a really nice blendable formula. I feel like it looks nice and smooth on my cheeks. There's no shimmer in this at all. It's just a matte blush. All right, and I think I'm gonna skip the highlighter just because I'm trying out this foundation and I'm a little bit concerned about what it's gonna do to my pores. And if I apply a highlighter, I think it's just gonna make my pores like look even more apparent, and then I'm not gonna know, is it the highlighter or is it the foundation? So I'm just gonna keep my cheeks perfectly matte today, and that way, if my pores start looking crazy, then I'll know it's the foundation and not the highlighter. Next, I'm gonna apply the Sigma lip cream in the shade Dingle Hopper, and this looks almost the same shade as what I put in my crease. And it also has a nice creamy feel. It's very thin and lightweight. It's not sticky like a lip gloss at all. It does have a little bit more of like a thin oil texture. I am going to top it with the Sunset Lip Oil. Oh my gosh, so loud. They're right outside my window now. Hold on. All right, I think they're done. I'm just gonna put this on as a topper, and I'm just gonna apply it with my finger because I don't wanna mess up the applicator and get the other color all over it. Yeah, that is so pretty. It just gives it an extra little kick and like a little bit more shine. So anyway, guys, here's the finished look. I just realized I didn't do my brows, but I'm not going anywhere today. I really just wanted to play with these products and try on a quick look for you guys just to see how everything initially performs. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'll try the Patrick Ta formula again and maybe some of the Sephora stuff unless something new comes in. So I will see you guys then. Hey guys, it's Thursday and I just got this box from ColourPop last night. It looks like they have a brand new collection, so I'm really excited about this one. I did take a little peek and it's beautiful. So this is called the After Hours collection and it says that it's full of sexy nudes and smoky hues. So there's a bunch of different things in here. There's a palette, there are new cream blushes, new eyeshadow sticks, and some new matte lipsticks as well. So let me show you the palette. This is probably what I'm most excited about. I love ColourPop's palettes, and lately I feel like they've been doing all these collabs with the really bright colors and ones that I wouldn't normally wear. So I love when they go neutral. And this one, even though it's neutral, it's a little bit more kind of smoky. It's also more cool toned, and I feel like this definitely screams fall, but it's not like a orangey yellowy kind of fall palette. It's more of these burgundies and gray. It's just so pretty. I really love the look of this. So I definitely want to be doing a look with this palette in the video, probably tomorrow, because I think I'm going to use some of the Sephora stuff that I got yesterday for today's look. But I just think this is gorgeous, so let's go ahead and swatch it. I'm just gonna do, again, like I always do, just a couple of live swatches and we'll see what the formula's like. So this shade right away looks like it's more of a topper. It's a little bit harder pressed, but it's definitely pigmented. This one feels like a regular shimmer shade. So you can see the difference. This one's a little more metallic. This one definitely has the glitter. But I feel like ColourPop's glitters are always very pigmented. Like they're not just a wash of glitter. You always have a little bit of color behind it. So that looks really nice. Let me see. So this one is actually very creamy. And this one looks like it has a little bit of a duochrome shift. Let's see. Yeah, already I feel like these are the prettiest lid colors, and I haven't even touched any of the darker shades yet. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this all out on my arm and I'll be right back. All right, so here's all the shades swatched out. We have the lighter shades in the top row and then the deeper shades in the bottom row. And I love that they kind of did both with this palette. I love that we have the option to go deep and smoky or to just keep it very, very light. And this palette reminds me a lot of some of the more burgundy tone palettes that they've done in the past, like You Had Me at Hello. I mean, that's going back many years now. They had a palette called Whatever, which was another one of my favorites. I just really enjoy this color story a lot. So I'm really glad that they made a new version of it. Then next up we have two blushes. We have the Instant Crush Cream Blush in the shades A-Lister and Obviously. And these look like they coordinate really well with the palette. I've been loving this formula too. It's kind of more of a blurring blush formula. So again, we have that really trendy, blurry kind of finish. So this one's Obviously, and it looks so beautiful. It's a really gorgeous rose tone. So I'm just gonna swatch this on my hand right here. And these cream blushes just have such a silky feel. They just blend right into your skin. So that one's Obviously. And then A-Lister looks like it's a little bit warmer, but also just kind of has that dusty, almost like 90s sort of vibe. So I'm just loving this whole color story. I think it's just something a little bit different for those of us who like neutrals, but you don't want to go, you know, too colorful, but at least it's not just your standard everyday browns. So yeah, this shade is just a little bit warmer than that one, but they're actually kind of close, actually. Let's check out the shadow sticks. So there are 3 of them all together. We have one matte shade and then 2 that are more shimmery. So the matte one is called OMW. I'm not up with the texting lingo these days, but I think that means like, oh my word, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, this is so gorgeous. Look at that. It's like a really pinky grayish kind of shade. That's going to make an amazing base to put shadow on top of or to just wear by itself. Next we have Next Spot, and this one is a shimmery plummy pink. And these are so creamy. I really love the formula of these as well. The shadow sticks, they're great. I love that they're coming out with more colors. So that one also just absolutely stunning. And then the black one, which I'm not as likely to wear, but I feel like maybe you could use this as a liner or something. This one is called Out at Midnight, and it has a little tiny hint of like little flecks of glitter in it, so it's not a flat matte. It actually has a little bit of almost like a metallic silver shift. So that's beautiful as well. This is really such a fun collection. All right, and then next up we have the Power Pout Transfer Proof 8-Hour Lipstick. I don't know if this is a new formula for them or if they've had it before. I haven't tried it either way, but it says that it's a creamy lipstick that delivers full coverage matte color in 3 nude shades that won't budge, transfer, or dry out your lips. All right, this first one's called Party Hour. It definitely looks like a deeper, maybe like chocolate brown. Let me see. Oh no, it's actually more of a burgundy shade. It's going to go really well with the colors in the palette for sure if you like a darker lip. And these do feel super creamy. I mean, one swipe, no patchiness or anything. It's got great pigmentation. Then the next one is called Nights Like This. And this one is a little bit warmer. And then this last one is Crush on Me. It looks like the lightest shade. And that is so pretty. I think that's probably my favorite because I love lighter lip colors, but I do think any of these shades would go really nicely with the palette with any look that you wanted to create. So anyway, guys, hopefully I'll get to do a try on of this collection tomorrow. And if you're interested in any of this, it's already available on the ColourPop website by the time you're watching this video. And I have a coupon code, it's JenPhelps, and it'll save you $5 off of a $25 purchase. So if you're buying anything under $25, it's going to say the code isn't valid. So just keep that in mind. There is a spending threshold with my code. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this collection down in the comments. I also got a new mascara from this brand called Sweed, and this was a suggestion from one of you guys who had told me that this mascara was amazing. Packaging wise, it's giving me Thrive liquid lash extension vibes. It says longer lashes, lifting effect, and volume, and it says that it's a black lengthening mascara that lifts your lashes from the root and creates impossibly long, defined, and voluminous lashes thanks to the innovative comb-like brush. So I figured we could just take a quick look. I actually found this over on Amazon. They do have a website too, but it came a lot faster with Amazon. It had Prime shipping. So I just want to show you the brush on this because it's really interesting. It does have a comb-like type of brush, so it's only on one side, and then the other side is just plain. I have seen mascara wands like this before, but I'm really curious to see what this formula is like, and I don't know if it's a tubing mascara. Like I said, I'm associating it with Thrive because of the color, but it doesn't say that it's tubing, so I really don't know, but we're going to try this out this week, and I can let you know if it smudges or not, and how easy it is to remove and all of that. So stay tuned. I'll definitely be trying it at some point during the video. Hi again. So today I'm going to be trying out the Patrick Ta foundation again, and also some of the Sephora products that I got yesterday that I didn't get a chance to try. So today I think for the Patrick Ta foundation, I want to try it with a brush and just see if I can increase the coverage a little bit. I did really like the way that it wore yesterday, and I'll kind of get into that while we're trying it on. But let's start with eyes. I really want to try one of these Kulfi eyeshadows, and I think I'm going to use the plum one. It just looks so beautiful. So I'm thinking I'm just going to apply this with my finger, and maybe I'll blend the edges with a brush. So I'm just picking up the tiniest little amount. So I'm just going to pat this on with my ring finger. I'm not really going to swipe it. I'm just kind of doing like a patting motion. You really don't need a lot when it comes to these products. I just picked up the tiniest little amount, so don't go too overboard. But I'm just going to take a brush. Again, this is the 202 from BK Beauty, and I'm just going to blend the outer edge of it. I'm not going to blend the whole thing because I think it'll sheer out the color on my lid too much. So I'm just going to go kind of above it and just blend the outer edge. I really enjoy using cream eyeshadows like this, especially on days when I'm in a hurry because it's so quick. They're just perfect for one and dones. I love the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, or their Jelly Much shadows are really great too. Those are kind of more like this if you're looking for more of an affordable option. But they're just such a time saver and they really make a nice impact on your eyes. So I really like this so far. I felt like it was very easy to use, but I guess we'll see how it holds up throughout the day and whether it creases. For mascara today, I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Cush High Roll Tubing Mascara. I really enjoy this one a lot. The brush is really similar to the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions, and I didn't like it as much as that one at first. I felt like this needed a little bit more building up, but once it's sort of dried out a little, I love it even more now. And I find that that often happens with tubing formulas. They don't always impress me right away, but then the more I use them, the more I start to like them. All right, next up, let's use the Patrick Ta foundation, this time with a brush. So I'm gonna be using the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose foundation brush, and we'll see if we can get a little bit more coverage out of this. So when I used this yesterday, I would say it was a light to medium coverage. I want to see if we can get to maybe a medium. I was actually very impressed with how well this wore yesterday. It lasted the good majority of the day, even when I was going to bed at night. I still felt like it had pretty good coverage everywhere I put it, which was pretty surprising because, like I mentioned yesterday, this is a very emollient foundation. But one thing I noticed is that it doesn't sit on top of your skin. It's a little bit more like a skin tint where it's dewy, but it does sink into your skin really well. And I don't know if it's just because I have dry skin, but it grabs this foundation and just holds on to it. So like I said, it's not one of those ones that's just gonna slide around all over your face, or like when you touch your face, it's gonna come off. It really didn't do that for me at all. And I also noticed that even though it feels sticky right now as I'm applying it, within, I would say like 10-15 minutes, it just dried down all the way. And instead of having this glassy, dewy finish like it has now, it was just more of like a satin to skin-like finish. I think if your skin isn't as dry, it might be more likely to stay dewy like this. I don't know if it'll dry down as much, but I was actually really impressed with it, and I thought it looked very natural. It's a nice, like, everyday foundation rather than, you know, something that's like a full glam type of formula, because it's not going to be as much coverage as something like that. But I think it definitely just evens out my skin tone really well. It doesn't hide everything, but I'm normally not looking to do that. I just really want to even out my skin tone, kind of cancel the redness and stuff like that. So as far as with the brush, I do think it looks maybe a little bit more makeup-y than it did with the sponge. It doesn't look quite as natural, but I think that's pretty typical of foundations. When you apply them with a brush, they're gonna look a little bit heavier. I did get a little bit better coverage, I think, with the brush. I don't feel like I have to go back in and put another layer on my cheeks like I did with the sponge. But let me just zoom you guys in so you can see a little bit closer. All right, so here you can see it a little bit closer, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it almost like looks a little bit more glassy and like shiny than it did with the sponge, which is weird. But I don't know that I necessarily like this better. I think I liked it the way that it looked more with the sponge. I personally don't like this shiny look. I would rather my skin look not matte, but maybe just a little bit more satin. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this as is right now. I could powder it maybe to take down some of the shine, but I wanna see how this wears first, and then maybe later in the week, I'll try and experiment with powder. But truthfully, I don't powder my skin very often, hardly ever, because my skin is generally so dry that I don't need to unless the foundation is just really super dewy. So next up, I want to try one of these Ravie blushes. I think I'm going to go with the cooler tone pink shade, which is called Epic. I think the color is just going to go better with my eye look and also my shirt. So we'll just stick with the cool tone theme. I'm just gonna put a couple dots on my cheek, and I'm gonna blend with the Sigma F11 brush. And I'm blending it out with the Sigma F11 brush. So again, this is supposed to be really pore blurring. It's supposed to just give your cheeks that super soft wash of color. It's actually sinking in and drying really fast, so you have to work quickly with this one. But I think we can really get a good idea of the blurring effect of this blush, because if you look at this cheek versus this one, This one has all the shine, but I feel like this blush just took down the shine on this side from that foundation. So right now I can see my pores like large and in charge over here, but over here it's like they're just kind of blurred away. It almost looks like I powdered my face over here. So that's really cool. I'm glad that I didn't powder now because we can really see the full effect of how this blush works. So let me just show you the other side. Again, I'm just gonna do 2 dots, maybe I think I did 3 on the other side actually. I want to make it even. Okay, so you can see how glowy this cheek is. And then when you go to blend, this just takes down the shine so much. And it really has a nice smoothing effect. Wow. You know, I think this one is even more blurring than the Anastasia blurring blush, the serum, and maybe even the Huda Beauty blurring blushes. These just seem so much more effective. In all honesty, I didn't even think the Anastasia one blurred at all. It just seemed like a regular liquid blush to me. And the Huda one blurred a little bit, but I think this one is way more. Like, it's so obvious. And also this color is so pretty. I really like this a lot. I honestly have yet to be disappointed in anything that I've tried from Cali Ray. Oh wait, no, I didn't like their skin tint. That was the one product, but I love their lip and cheek tints. Their color corrector is really nice. Their lip plumper is really good. It actually does plump your lips. I mean, for the most part, they have really good stuff. Their tubing mascara, and I think this one is definitely gonna be a winner. All right, the last thing I wanna try out is the Kulfi lip stain. So this one again is in the shade First Sorry, and this claims to be a staining lip oil, which is really something kind of different. I've tried the staining lip glosses, which I thought this was going to be like those, but it really does have that super thin lip oil texture versus a gloss. It's actually a bit different than, like, if you think of the ones from Milani or Flower Beauty, those are a little bit thicker. This one reminds me a little more of the Korean glossy lip stains. It is actually super comfortable to wear. There's zero dryness. I have very dry lips and this just feels like a nice lip oil. So I'm curious to see how long it's gonna last, and I will definitely take a picture or something of this after a certain amount of time. And when I come back tomorrow, I'll let you know how this held up throughout the day. It feels so nice and emollient. I can't picture it lasting through eating and drinking. It just reminds me of a lip oil, but I'm super curious and I'll be sure to let you know tomorrow. So I will see you then. Hey guys, it's a little bit later on Thursday and I just got this box in from Ravie Beauty, which is Ali Glein's brand, and she has some brand new baked blushes. I saw her video on these and they look fantastic. And I love a baked blush because they start as a cream, then they're baked to a powder. So they still kind of have the properties of a cream blush. They're just so smooth, especially if you have drier skin. So she has 3 shades. She also sent over a blush brush with them as well. So I figured we could just swatch them really quickly. And I definitely want to try these on maybe tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have time to do that in this video. So I'm just gonna put this to the side and we'll check out everything. All right, so here's a quick look at the packaging first. So like a lot of baked blushes, you know, they are gonna have that domed shape. So the packaging is gonna be a little bit thicker and not quite as slim as a pressed powder. And then inside you have all of these beautiful swirls and marbling throughout the blush, which is one of the reasons, yet another reason I should say, why I love baked blushes, because you just get more dimensional color. It's not flat like just one shade. You get a bunch of different shades in there. So this one is the shade Paradise. I'm just gonna swatch all of these for you really quick. And okay, look at how pigmented that was in one swipe. It's the most beautiful warm tone shade. I love that one. Next we have Daydream. So here's what this one looks like in the pan. And then I'm just gonna do a swatch of this one here. So this one is more pink and it's also a little bit lighter, but these are just so smooth. I can't get over it. And then we have the deepest shade, which is Oasis. This one also looks beautiful. All right, and then here's that one. This shade definitely doesn't go on as deep as it looked in the pan, but I do think it could be easily built up if you want a little bit more color, if you have a deeper skin tone. But overall, I'm just loving these first 3 shades that she came out with. At some point, maybe she'll expand like she did with her lipsticks. So we'll have to see, but I love that we have, you know, a pink, a nude, and then something a little bit deeper, more of a berry shade. So it kind of covers all the bases. And just quickly, also we have the blush brush. First of all, I love that she did the handle in the gray, which is sort of like her signature color. I love that. And then the bristles just feel so soft. I love the shape of this too. It's not too big. It's like the perfect size. And I also love the shape. It's a little bit more narrow. It's not like a big round blush brush. So this is gonna be awesome, I think, for just placing the blush with a little bit more precision. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this new launch down below. I also just got a package from Persona and they sent over new lip liner shades. Again, this is a formula that I really enjoy a lot. I think their lip liners are just so creamy. So these are perfect fall shades. We have Pumpkin, which is a warm, rich terracotta, Marrakesh, which is a warm pink nude. I love their gloss in that color. It's also so beautiful. And then we have Americano, which is a warm, rich brown. And they also sent over a little sharpener as well. So let's take a quick look at these. I'm just gonna swatch them on my hand really fast. And again, if I have time this week, I definitely want to try these on along with the Ravie Blushes. So, all right, let's just do some quick hand swatches. First is Marrakesh. That's so beautiful. I love it. It's like a rosy brown. Next, we have Pumpkin. I'm really excited for this color. I think it's going to be so amazing for fall. So this is the one that was described as a warm, rich terracotta. And then Americano was a warm, rich brown. But I mean, I don't know if you can tell how creamy these are just from me applying them, but they're just effortless. They glide right onto your skin. And I personally use their lip liners as lipsticks all the time because you can just fill them in really easily. They're honestly so creamy. They don't tug at your lips. And usually I'll just apply like a balm or a gloss on top. So anyway, I just wanted to quickly show you those as well. I think they're going to be amazing for fall. Hey guys, we made it to Friday, so I'm going to be trying the foundation again. I want to try the ColourPop After Hours collection. It looked so pretty, but today for the foundation, I want to put a pore smoothing primer underneath and see how that plays out. So I'm going to be using the new one from Milani. This is the Blur Out Smoothing Primer, and I did try this in a video last week, I think it was, and I was so impressed with how my foundation wore on top of it. It really does make your skin so much smoother, and it also just gives your skin this really nice velvety feel. So I figured I would put this under the foundation. I did think that the foundation looked okay yesterday, but I didn't love it with the brush application as much as I do the sponge. So I'm definitely going to apply it, I think, with the sponge again today. That's really my preferred method between the two for this particular formula. I liked how natural it looked on day one, and I just felt like on day two when I used the brush, it looked a little bit more makeup-y. So I'm going to let this primer just sit for a while on my skin and jump over to eyes. So let's go ahead and jump to the After Hours palette, and I'm going to be using this shade, Stepping Out, which is right here. And I did prime my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. So this is going really nicely on top of that. And I absolutely love the pinky tone of this shade. I think it's just a little more complementary to my undertone than some of those warmer crease colors that you usually see in palettes. Even sometimes palettes that look very cool toned end up having these really warm crease colors. So I love that they did something a little bit different here. Next, I want to make this a little bit more smoky. So I think I'm going to do the shade Off the Clock, which is right over here. It's like a dark gray. And I'm picking this up on the Refer #1 Mini, which is a little flat brush. So I'm just going to sort of stamp this right in the outer corner and blend back toward the middle. To me, this palette has a very 90s feel. These are all the types of colors that I used to use back then, like the grays and the taupes. I was all about cool toned eye makeup back then. Next, I'm just going to pat some of the NYX glitter glue on the inner corner of my lid and back toward the center. And I really want to use this shade Till Dawn right here. This looks so beautiful. So I'm just going to start patting this again right in the inner corner and start going back toward the center. And I also want to pick up this shade Worst Behavior, which is this gorgeous satiny rosy shade. And I'm going to put this one kind of to meet up with that shadow and the outer corner one. So I'm just putting this more like right in the middle. I think with this glittery shade, you definitely need the glitter glue. Even with it, it's still going underneath my eye a little bit. So you just have to be a little careful of fallout with that one. All right, then I'm just gonna take this shade Just Dance right here and just put this a little bit underneath my eyes as well. This color is similar to the one that I used in my crease. It's like a pinky taupe, but it's just a tiny little bit darker. All right, then for mascara, I can't wait to try this one from Sweed. Again, this is the Pro Lash Lift Mascara. I've heard such good things about this one, and I'm curious to see if it lives up to the hype. So I'm just gonna start working this back and forth. I usually apply mascara in like a zigzaggy motion. It definitely feels like a wetter formula for sure. And the wand is interesting because it's only one-sided. Usually with mascara wands, I'm constantly like twirling it around and using all of the different edges, but with this one, you can't really do that. But oh my gosh, this really is giving me huge lashes. I notice a big difference between the two sides. I mean, tons of length, lots of volume as well. And I think the brush is pretty good at mitigating clumps as well. It's really easy to comb them out. So I'm impressed so far. If this doesn't smudge or flake, I'll definitely be really happy with it. All right, so next let's apply the Patrick Ta foundation. I'm gonna be using a beauty sponge again, and I wanna see how it looks on top of the primer. So far, I do think this foundation is really nice, but is it mind-blowing, like worth the $58 or $59? I don't know. To me, it's not really performing that much better than a drugstore foundation like the Believe Beauty one, or something like the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate, which by the way has amazing cooler toned options. The new e.l.f. Soft Glam foundation, I really love as just like an everyday foundation. It has that great skin-like satiny finish. I mean, I do like that this one's nice and hydrating, but for the price that you're paying, I just feel like it should make me look even that much more flawless. And I don't really think that it does compared to some of the other options that I just mentioned. So it is definitely a nice foundation. Don't get me wrong. I do like it, but is it $58 nice? I don't know. In the beginning, when I first apply it, it's definitely more glowy than I would normally go for. And it does settle down a little bit as you wear it. But the older I get, the less I look for that kind of a glowy finish because it just seems to highlight pores and texture a little bit more. So just quickly, a little bit closer up. I mean, I think it looks nice over the primer. This is probably the best that it's looked all week, but it does have that really dewy finish that I'm just not super interested in. Maybe as we head into the winter time, I'll appreciate that a little bit more when my skin is so super dry. But right now it's not. So for me, this foundation has been good, not great. Next, let's try the new cream blushes from ColourPop. I think I'm just gonna try both colors. Why not? I'm literally not going anywhere today other than picking up my son from school, but I'm not gonna see anyone there. So the first shade I have is Obviously. And anyway, when I was swatching these, I noticed that they looked really similar to each other. So I don't even know that we'll be able to tell that much of a difference between the two. But I really love this formula. I think it's a great option if you want that blurring blush sort of trend. And they come in such gorgeous colors. I mean, these two are specific to the After Hours collection, but they have a whole line of these with additional shades that are just so pretty. All right, so this is the shade Obviously, and kind of like the Cali Ray blushes yesterday, look at how much it took down the shine over here. There's still a little bit, but not anywhere close to like what this cheek looks like. And my skin looks so smooth where I put it. So I'm honestly loving this trend of the blurring blushes. And then here's the other one, A-Lister. I'm just gonna use the other side of this brush. By the way, this is the Sigma Soft Sculpt F11. And yeah, like when I'm putting this on, it doesn't look too much different than the other side. This is the one that was slightly more warm toned, but I think these colors pair really nicely with the tones in the palette. I think they go perfectly. So next, let's try out the lipsticks. Again, I'll show you what all of the colors look like on me, although I'm definitely partial to the lighter shade, which is Crush on Me. So I'll just put that one on first. These do seem to have a little bit of a scent. It's not super strong, but it's a little bit fruity. They feel really nice, very cushiony, very soft. I wouldn't say that they're a flat matte. They actually have a little hint of maybe a satiny finish to them, and it feels super comfortable and non-drying. So again, this shade is Crush on Me. All right, then the next shade is Nights Like This. This one is almost like a brick red. It has a little bit of warmth to it. And actually this one feels a lot more matte. I totally forgot that I put on lip balm right before this. So I think the first shade felt a little bit creamier than this one because I put it on top of lip balm. This shade definitely felt a little bit drier going on, and it has way more of a matte finish. So again, this is Nights Like This. And yeah, this one doesn't come off quite as easily as the first one. So I think you can definitely make these feel a little bit more comfortable by putting a lip balm underneath, but they're also not going to last as long and they'll probably come off much more easily. This one even left a little bit of a stain behind, so I can definitely see how these will be really long lasting. So then the last shade is Party Hour, and this is the darkest one. So I don't love dark lipsticks on me, but just for the sake of testing it out, here's what it looks like. All right, so I just went ahead and put the first shade back on and some lip balm as well. These are just a little bit too dry for my taste. Over a lip balm, they feel really nice. I just don't think they're gonna have the same sort of lasting power, which is fine. I definitely prefer a creamy lipstick, even if it doesn't last quite as long. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna try to come back tomorrow and do one more look with some of the things that I didn't get a chance to try out yet. I really wanna try to fit everything in, but tomorrow is Saturday, and this video has to go up on Sunday. So I'm just gonna try to get as much editing and all of that done as I can today, and hopefully I'll be able to come back tomorrow and finish out the video with one more look. So I will see you guys then. Hey guys, it's Saturday. So I just wanted to finish up using a couple of the products that I didn't get a chance to try yet. I wanted to do a look with this Give palette that I showed earlier, and the Ravie Beauty blushes as well, and the Persona lip liners. So let's start with the palette, and I want to probably do a combination warm and cool toned look. I think that this matte shadow up here is just going to be too light for a crease color, so I'm going to have to go to this one, which is warmer, but I really like this silver for the lid, so I think I'm going to just do a warmer crease with a cooler tone lid. I've done that in the past and it usually looks really nice, so I'm just going to go ahead and start working this warmer brown into my crease back and forth. Again, this is the BK Beauty 202 brush. These shadows definitely feel soft and really blendable. I remember them being super blendy as I was like swatching them on my hand, and they did have a little bit of fallout, but as long as I tap my brush, I don't really notice the fallout. It is kind of collecting in the pan, but just make sure to tap off the excess and you'll be fine. I'm not noticing the fallout once I'm applying it. So as long as you do that step, then you'll be good. All right, then I'm just gonna grab this silver shade on my finger. I'm doing a super simple look today. I'm actually going to my in-laws after this, so I'm not gonna do anything like dramatic on my eyes today. My husband's birthday was last weekend and we were supposed to go then, and they were gonna have like a little party for him. And unfortunately we were all sick. We're all feeling much better now. I know I don't sound a whole lot better, but I feel completely fine. I just still have a hoarse voice for some reason. So I think it's just one of those things that lingers. So this eyeshadow actually looks really beautiful. I think it's very pigmented. It went on really smoothly, not a lot of fallout with the shimmer shades. So overall, I mean, I'm happy with it. I just, like I said, I did a super simple look, but I like how small this palette is, and it's just really neutral. So it's one of those ones that I feel like I would just throw in a bag and take it on a trip with me. You can use the gold on your lid if you want more of a warm tone look, or just use the silver like I did today. And then I'm also going to be using the Sweed Mascara again. So I found out it's not a tubing formula for sure. It doesn't remove like one. So it's just a normal mascara, which is fine. And I did at the end of the night notice a tiny little bit of like darkness under my eyes, but I'm not sure if that was the eyeshadow that I put under there, because I normally don't line my under eyes. But yesterday when I used that ColourPop palette, I put a little bit of that darker shadow under there. So I don't know if it was the shadow just kind of smudging or if it was actually this mascara. It wasn't a lot, whatever it was. So I'm really not too concerned about it. It didn't give me like a major raccoon eyes if that was the case. And this was like way at night as I was going to bed. So I did check my reflection a few times during the day and I didn't notice any smudging then. So I think this is a pretty long lasting formula overall. And it did remove pretty easily at night, but I can't say that for the ColourPop palette. Unfortunately, that glitter shade got everywhere. The glitter was all over my face by the end of the night from that one shade, and I used glitter glue. So I don't think I'll be using that shade in the palette again. I mean, there are plenty of other really pretty, like regular metallic shades in there that I would use instead, but just be forewarned if you are planning on buying that palette, that glitter shade is kind of a mess. Anyway, next let's do the Patrick Ta foundation one more time. I think I'm actually gonna apply it with my fingers today. I haven't tried that yet. And sometimes I do apply foundation with my fingers. It's super quick and easy. And it's actually how I learned to apply foundation. When I was growing up in the 90s, we didn't have tools like we do today, or at least they weren't readily available. I know foundation brushes were out there and those little like wedge sponges, but usually if I was reading a tutorial in a magazine, they just said to apply the foundation with your fingers. So that's what I did. And I actually like it. I mean, I think the warmth from your fingers helps it to melt into your skin a little bit more, and you have a little bit more control over how much you're applying. So I figured I would just do it that way today. And you know, the more I use this foundation, the more I'm not super impressed with it. I know yesterday I touched on that a little bit. As I've been editing this video throughout the week and watching the footage back, I noticed that my skin doesn't look the best. Like normally I think it looks a lot better on camera, and it's one thing to see myself in the mirror, but I almost feel like I see myself objectively a little bit more in the camera. Maybe because I'm just used to looking in the mirror every day, so it's harder for me to tell. I don't know, but I just don't think my skin's been looking its best this week. The glow from this foundation just makes me look a little bit shiny and greasy. I feel like I notice my pores more. I notice the dark spots because there isn't a ton of coverage in this. It's really a lot like a skin tint. So while I did love some things about it the first day, like I loved that it sticks to my nose really well. It is a long-lasting formula, so I like that about it. I think for me, I'm just not as crazy about the finish and the coverage level. So I would rate this foundation middle of the road for me. It's not terrible, but it's not one of my favorites either. So today I did say that I was gonna powder it, and I think that'll also help maybe to minimize some of the shine a little. So I'm gonna use the Moira Set and Correct pressed powder, which is one of my absolute favorite pressed powders. It's one of the only ones that I really like because it doesn't look chalky or powdery on my dry skin, and it doesn't make me look drier. It just kind of gives a nice airbrushed finish, and it's super lightweight. So I'm just gonna put a really light dusting all over my face, and then we'll take a closer look. All right, yes. So now that I've powdered and I don't have as much of the greasy shine going on, I like the way that my face looks a lot better already. I still think it doesn't have quite as much coverage as I would like in certain areas. So if I wasn't wear testing this foundation, I would probably just have to add some concealer in certain areas. That's probably what I would do. Ideally, I don't like to use concealer because I find it's just another layer on my face. So I love when a foundation just kind of does it all and I don't have to use a concealer, or not much anyway. So let's move on to blush, and I definitely want to try one of these Ravie Beauty blushes. Again, I would try all the shades, but since I'm going out, I don't want to have two different colored cheeks, so I'm gonna use the shade Daydream, which was the warmer toned kind of nudie shade. It has a little bit of peach in it as well, and I definitely want to use her brush also. So I'm just gonna start working this in. I'll have to use the other shades in videos coming up. Maybe if I do some get ready with me's or something, then I'll use the other ones. But Allie actually has a great video on her website, and I think her skin tone is similar to mine, and she tries all the colors on, so you can see what they look like on a lighter skin tone. But I have to say, this formula is blending so nicely. It's one of the reasons I love baked blushes. They're just so smooth, and they really do just kind of melt in. They have that cream-like texture, but with a powder finish at the same time. So this is such a beautiful color. It's very subtle, and I could see using this a lot, either just for, you know, like lighter looks like I'm doing today, or if I have a really smoky eye and I want to go lighter on my cheeks, then that way they won't compete with my eye look. So anyway, this is so pretty. It looks so smoothing on my cheeks. I absolutely love it. And then for lips, I want to use one of the Persona lip liners, and I'm going to use the shade Marrakesh. I love this color in their lip gloss. It's one of my favorites. So this is the one that isn't quite as orange as the pumpkin shade. And also there was the Americano shade that was a dark brown. I probably wouldn't use that one very often, but this one is just a beautiful kind of warmer nude. So I'm just gonna start applying it around my lip line, and then I'm also gonna just fill them in with this color as well. I have some lip balm on underneath, and I just love how creamy these are because you can really use them as a lipstick. Yeah, this is the perfect fall color right here. I love this. So I think that's everything. I'm so glad I was able to try most of the products in today's video. The only thing I didn't get to try was the ColourPop eyeshadow sticks, but I have tried that formula in the past and I really like it. So it's not really new, they're just new colors. But I hope you all enjoyed coming along on this haul journey with me. This was so much fun, and it was really just what I needed to kind of get back into the swing of things after being sick for almost a week. So apologies that you had to listen to my hoarse voice. Hopefully by Monday, I'll be back to normal and just back to my normal filming schedule. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for sitting down and taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. And if you have some extra time and you want to watch another one of my videos, I'll put some right here like usual that you could check out next if you have some time. And I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. Are you interested in trying any of these products, or have you tried them already? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in my next one. Take care. Bye.